My name's Mary MacDonald Lewis. I never knew how important Fair in the Arts was until I found myself in need of the organization. And that was when I came face to face with my own cancellation and banning as an artist here in Portland, Oregon. And Fair in the Arts reached out to me to help. They asked me to write an essay called The Art Thieves about how my voice was nearly stolen. Fair in the Arts has come to my aid in a most recent situation where my art has yet again been banned. A production of a play called The Macbeths, which I wrote, boycotted and subsequently banned by area activists because those activists disagreed with my gender-critical issues. I believe Fair in the Arts is here to give all of us the strength that we need today to keep fighting for the foundations of classical liberalism and of the rights guaranteed in our Constitution and Bill of Rights. So please, help Fair in the Arts continue to fight for our democracy and for the rights of artists to express themselves in the way they best see fit.
Hi, my name's Rosie Kay. I'm a choreographer and dancer, and also the co-founder now of Freedom in the Arts that supports artists in the UK. I was really lucky that Fair reached out to me when I was going through an incredibly difficult and painful time in this current climate in the arts. Working with Fair inspired me to set up Freedom in the Arts, and I ask everybody to support Fair and get involved, and the more of us that speak out and speak together, the more we can make the kind of beautiful art and work that we want to.
I'm Franklin Einsbrook. I'm an artist and art writer in New Hampshire. I'm also the proprietor of a project called Dissident Muse, which is a publishing and exhibition project that emphasizes the unsung, the unbowed, and the ineffable. I discovered that there's enormous hostility to any resistance to the illiberal progressive project. I have been denied opportunities, I've been thrown out of organizations, I have been kicked out of social media spaces, and the effect on my career has been measurable. Fair has helped me in many ways since I got involved with them very near the beginnings of the organization. They gave me community. I found other artists who were encountering similar sorts of resistance or were simply hiding who they were in order to avoid suffering the consequences of who they were. Fair in the Arts is needed because it is working in a very specific space on a specific problem that is more dire than is usually given credit. Art cannot be made in the spirit of intolerance. And Fair is perhaps the only useful organization that is doing any work around making sure that the atmosphere of creation for art remains open. And so if you are an artist, you should come and join us at Fair in the Arts.
Hi, I'm Melody Rachel. I'm a theatre maker from Australia, and I discovered Fair when I was going through a time in my life where I sort of felt constrained and restricted in my thinking, and that I wasn't able to voice my opinions or speak freely about things I really cared about without being reprimanded. Through Fair, I was able to find a global network of artists that really cared about elevating liberal values like freedom of speech and freedom of expression, which I feel like are vital in the arts. Through Fair, I was able to connect with artists which really care about freedom of expression for the artists. I feel like the values Fair has is vital for any arts maker today, and I'm really glad I found them.
I found Fair during the pandemic at a time when I was experiencing intense pressure to go along with an activist ideology that I did not believe in. Artists are often the people who are standing on the outside of society, looking in, who are making work that show us what's going on in the world from a different point of view. But at this time, there was no opportunity to have any other point of view other than the activist point of view. So I was really excited to find Fair because it's an organization that believes in fairness, in understanding, in diversity of viewpoints, that believes we are all more alike than we are different. I'm really proud to say that I am one of the first recipients of the Fair in the Arts grant. I used the funds to support an adaptation of a novel by Russian author Yevgeny Zamyatin, who in his time was definitely a nonconformist. He wrote a novel called We that the Russian government thought was so dangerous that they banned the book in Russia. I was really excited to be able to put this novel by a nonconformist on the stage last October here in New York City, and I couldn't have done it without the support of the Fair in the Arts grant.
My name is Rob Feld, and I was the recipient of a Fair in the Arts grant to support the distribution of my documentary, Gestures and Fools. My film uses social science and famous comedians to underline that Americans are not nearly as divided as we think they are. I've appreciated Fair's openness to a diversity of thought and its emphasis on the idea that we are all complex and human. Support from groups like Fair has been crucial to sharing the evidence presented in the film with the world. If you would like to see more ideas like these in the culture, Fair deserves your support.